Oh man, we're almost rotated all the way through.
Yeah?
Wow. Can't believe it. Anyway, here's another one I came up with last time when I was looking for twink. In looking for twink in anagrams, I found old Jim Twink Commode. That's ol with an E on it. OLE Jim Twink Commode. Which
Could be Olay.
I mean, there's not a thing on the E. That's a different letter. You plebeian. Now, listen, I've known a couple of twinks in my time, and definitely, who among us, right, has not? Well, maybe that's a discussion for a different day. All right. Anyway, we just got Phi End, right, and notably learned basically nothing about Phi. However, I've got a fucking theory.
What's your theory?
All right. We know, I think, two things about Phi that I can say for certain. One, sending her back in time is a stated goal of the AB project. Two, by process of elimination, she seems to be the third player to have reached this game via cold sleep. We know We know 3 of the pods were used to reach the future. 3 of the pods all had recently defrosted.
Yep.
We are led to assume one of them is Sigma.
But
Obviously,
it
it's not. Alice and Clover have to be. By process of elimination down the other ones, both Tenmyoji and Quark are natively from this time. Kay and Luna are associated with the station already. And Dio is also from this time. We're left with Phi. Phi must have been in the other pod. Which also makes sense if they're going to send her back in time. If they're sending her back in time and she's this young, what? Send her consciousness back into a fetus? What are we doing? What are we doing here? So that also checks out. Now, knowing how Sigma's consciousness kind of rotates and loops through time makes a whole lot of the other things make sense. We know how this project comes to be because, he has to make it. Like June in the first game, he uses his vision of having seen it in the future to make sure everything goes according to plan. However, one event still doesn't make sense. And that is, who the hell bombed Sigma's car at the very beginning of the game? Right? Because at that point in time, he was just normal Sigma living in linear time. So there are 2 explanations. One, maybe this is also June acting on future premonition. That doesn't seem likely, given that it seems like June doesn't come into the picture. Given what we hear from Kay's backstory, it doesn't seem like June comes into the picture until later on.
And additionally, if she could do that, then why would they have the need of this convoluted plot if she could just send stuff back to herself at that time?
Exactly. So the only other person who knows what has to happen and is going to be going back in time as well, and might be able to go back far enough in order to set up this crucial event, is probably Phi. So I think it's Phi that sets up Sigma's car to gas him at that point in time. And then immediately afterwards, it's going to be Sigma in that body who just finished with the Death Game stuff, and Phi who just did the last thing she needed to do for the Death Game stuff, and they get to be like, holy shit, was that fucked up or what? And also that means it's really easy to convince Phi to go into cold sleep later on, because she's like, yeah, I got to if I want to end up back here.
Yep.
But also, we still know there's that last diverging point on the timeline, right? So maybe this is the timeline where they just say, no, we did it when we're... The thing I'm still kind of like rolling over in my head is like, if this was just done for this wasn't necessarily even done to save Sigma's life, like it was in the first time, where it had to, we had to make the future match up in order to save someone in the past. I thought we were going to be preventing Radical 6 from happening, but apparently that's just kind of like a thing that happened.
But aren't we? Isn't that the explicit goal of this?
The explicit goal is to send us back in time. We always assumed it was to prevent Radical 6, but so far June has said nothing about preventing Radical 6. And neither did the Zero hologram that we saw. We talked about termites.
Huh, I was under the impression that it was stated, but I may be misremembering.
I still think that's going to be part of the side effect of it, but I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that was ever stated. I think we just assumed that. Hello? I'm sorry?
Did we not save? So we got Fiend.
So wait, where was the... And I thought that meant that there was another...
There it is. There it
it
is.
was hiding.
Further up,
It was
further up.
hiding up there. Okay.
Headquarters, huh?
2029.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the Evening News.
This is what TVs look like in 2029.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my, excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now, but I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Oh, fuck. She did pulled a what's his name? What the fuck was that guy's name?
Was it Bud Dwyer?
Bud Dwyer. She pulled a Bud Dwyer.
For a moment, I just stared at the TV. I was impressed she kept the newscaster voice the whole time. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room until with a click, it disappeared too.
Honestly, she practiced it in the mirror. Let's be 100% honest now. She practiced that in a mirror.
Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. You. Akane?
Looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck?
So wait, Akane was brother because she had to set up the whole thing in order to...
What the fuck? You killed me.
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still.
Well, that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Hey, no need to be rude about it. Also, notice how we're back to visual novel Akane rather than 3D model Akane.
Yep.
I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Do you think Listen, do you really think Jumpy would jump my bone after we done? Wait. Other way around. I'm going to be really horny in the future, okay? You and Fi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Fi.
Yeah. I only told you about you, but we also needed Fi to jump. Yep. This is just kind of fucking Steins Gate. Wait, this game is just Steins Gate. What the fuck?
Steins Gate, but more convoluted.
Somehow more convoluted and somehow more conspiracy theory related. Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9 along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yep.
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Fi. Bam! Well, I mean, process of elimination. We figured that out, right? We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. Right. Okay, so we got to go through this loop before... Right, so we're going through this little process here. And then, after the 45 years, we go back to the beginning. I see. That wasn't the Fi who had jumped from point C, though. It was fine before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are. And she still is.
Then that means after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yep. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years. Sleeping in ice.
Then, when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right?
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old.
Well, yeah.
So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that. You've got this. Unfortunately for you, this is the part of the timeline where you put in the work, bitch.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. Otherwise, you'll be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And of course, you'll need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. So immediately, though, I'm also wrong about when Akane came into the project.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe it is just Akane at the beginning. Well, my theory was fun while it lasted for 2 seconds. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the third AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out, and you will go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
And then I change history. Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die. And thankfully, you'll have, 45 years of experience in a lot of... I don't know if these fields are related. Biogenetic? Maybe. Yeah, you'll figure it out. That could be your side project when you're not working on the AB game.
Imagine he finally gets there and is like, oh, fuck, I forgot this step.
Or worse, he gets there and it's a fucking Cassandra moment. Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you?
Only you and Phi can... So she's also insisting Phi will be there at that point in time.
Aren't you and Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I need your help. I started a cult for you, by the way. I'm not normal, am I?
So what do I need to do?
And also wait, I assumed June knew Dio was coming because, future shenanigans, but no, she knew Dio was coming because she's brother. She told him.
Wait, what?
She knew Dio was coming because she's brother. She told him to go.
What do you mean?
Wait, is she not brother or is she just part of the cult?
Where are we getting anything about her having a connection to the cult?
Her wearing the fucking uniform?
What does this have? Is this a uniform of the cult?
Yes!
When else have we seen that?
In the background during the flashbacks where we see brother against in a shadowy flashback against a huge flag with that icon on it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. That is weird. I don't know what to think.
Although it might just be, again, tying it into the previous game where Snake had a rope with that icon on it. Maybe she just had it left over. Went back to the site afterwards to... I mean, after doing a thing like that, you have to imagine she went back to the building to grab some stuff that, There's a lot of tech just lying around there, and you don't want it to...
So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. So is that the third game, the Mars mission test site with Sigma and Phi?
That'd be weird, though. This would just be a cliffhanger?
I don't know about a cliffhanger. I think we had a very satisfying story arc. We don't know how Radical 6 escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Aw, crap.
Can you carry it back from the future? Future virus? The imprint of the future virus left on your mind. No, wait, that's totally it. His future self, his brain was already irrevocably warped by the imprint of Radical 6 of the future, and thus, when going back in time, it carries that imprint of it with it, and somehow that could be used to reconstruct Radical 6, and it'll bootstrap itself. All right, I'm just making bullshit up now.
Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Roll the title sequence. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you'll find yourself in a great deal of danger, but I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point a woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, lost your arms and your right eye.
My arms and my right eye? What the hell?
So that hadn't happened yet, huh? Man, Sigma, you are really bad at, like, regarding yourself. Sigma's sense of self is, like, horribly wrong, right? Like, what the hell, man?
Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. What was that?
Go have a look.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky.
It took a while to find a suitable place to build a bunker that could also give you a window view of that happening. I want you to know that. I go the extra mile. I know. Listen, I know what we do is important, but I also understand that theatrics is, part and parcel. I was a theater kid, all right?
Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of this game's narrative so far is predicated on the fact that you can't really alter what happens in the loops. And/or beginning. That's fun. So, you could also say that maybe you're doomed to never do it? I don't know. That seems very sad to think about, so. And is that it? And that's a Kane ending.
And/or beginning.
And that's it. We're fucking done. Wait, what?
No, we're not.
No, we're not. 18-minute episode. That would suck. So is this us failing then?
Where? I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Oh, this is Kyle. Aha! Kyle?
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
Aha, I see. I lurched upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition. Turns out, it wasn't the suit making my voice do this. He just made my voice box weird. The mirror over the sink was covered in a thin film with a film of dirt. Oh, that explains it.
So convenient.
Actually, it is convenient because he would know about that. So he had to do... You know what? Never mind. All of that retracted. he had to set up the game to make sure he would never look at his own reflection and counted on his own complete lack of interest in his own body. I wiped it off with my sleeve and my reflection stared back at me. Holy hell! I'm handsome as fuck! There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to Kyle Klim. So I'm Dr. Klim, Zero Senior's clone.
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Klim was. In other history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently, he'd worn it all his life.
I love Baby K's baby-sized armor.
Right? And just to make sure that his muscles don't atrophy while he grows up on the moon. I guess that makes sense. I guess. We'll let it be. And the tiny lagomorph. Kyle had been, wait, we're talking about Kyle in the third person. Is this somehow Sigma?
Interesting.
Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. He was called the backup plan after all, right?
Yep.
Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. Okay, so Akane... Okay, so I wasn't wrong that that's what K's story implied. I was just... the implication was wrong. Okay. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew it, I did not feel it. Was I really Kyle Klim? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. What a handsome man! The spitting image of Sigma Klim in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I gave him a kick in the dick, just for good measure. I turned him back around to Luna. I think I ruptured one of his balls. What day is it today?
January 27th, 2074.
Then today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. Then she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep for?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still have been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, is that correct?
Yes.
So then why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
And why can't we do anything about this vocal box, that thing, the alteration?
Dr. Sigma thinks it's funny.
Well, fuck me, because it really is. So the person you call the Doctor, Sigma Klim, is inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Huh. Let me give him one more kick for good measure and see if that works. Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes, I've been administering Soperil whenever he gets restless.
That cannot be good for him. What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right, Mr. Klim.
So, Sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber.
Wow, Kyle
Oh.
really sounded like Quark.
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Uh-huh.
We're just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return, then? To Earth, I should mean.
Yeah?
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, I guess he's not really Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klim now. Or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? June and I already got it on for a while, so Nothing left. You were out for a long time, man. You aren't going to say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history is not going to change. In fact, it's because of what he did or didn't do in the past that we've got this past and present.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, isn't that kind of like a weirdly nihilistic thing to do, knowing that you're destined to fail? And if you don't fail, then you don't start?
Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One-way freeway continues off northwest, the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. They take the northwestern road, but about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway. And eventually they've gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly something happens they couldn't have predicted. S, who survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Oh, so they're saying parallel world lines. Got it. Okay.
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, that's just mine went back in time, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living in? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? No, that would be stupid. It's not as if it was the only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip, right? Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at, had a child. Not you, Quark. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That one was you, Quark. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories. Friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How could it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Is that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy?
Okay, that's a different thing you said there.
Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness even in a world that hates it. You saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase those other timelines, whatever God wrote, those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, alright? I can't swear in front of Quark. He's really perceptive and learns new words a bit too quickly. Do you get me?
I don't know what he's talking about. I never learn words by listening to him. What do you mean by back that ass up?
See what I mean?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Oh no. Is he right?
No! It's not gonna happen. We're here right now, and this is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just gonna disappear or something.
Oh. Then that means we get to stay together. Good.
Thanks, good. And thank you for playing in the parlor for a while. I appreciate that.
I understand how you feel. Why? Oh, that's why they called him K, because his name is Kyle. Why are you want to return? Sorry, I know that's not important.
In before, it's not because his name was Kyle or because his name was Clem. It's just coincidental.
That's coincidence.
Named K because he loves eating bananas. Gets lots of potassium.
Named K because he invented the Kelvin scale. Time loops! Yeah! Understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I should imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Damn right.
Uh-huh. Like those other motherless bitches.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Fly, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to.
No point saying anything to Dio. I gave him a kick in the nuts, though.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep, too.
Sorry, didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klim now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know.
And Akane!
Listen, man. What happens in Rhizome 9 stays in Rhizome 9, okay? Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew.
Oh, that's somehow even sadder. Oh.
She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't there. She's not anywhere.
Damn, that's actually real sad.
Yeah.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. And it feels so great to be rudely brought out of time like this, you know? Like, great, I didn't have a life I needed to live. So glad I could be used to make your life pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. Only mostly. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand, but...
It kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong, we know why we had to be here. Without us, his consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
it's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good.
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much. But at least we have one another. Problematic age gap.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Well, let's say... What? Really? Think if it was that easy, they would have done it. Or are they trying to snap their conscious... No, because then they couldn't have that time. Yeah. Well, let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your mind to get thrown back here? Seems to be how Sigma and Vi's jumps worked, at least. Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different? How so? From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time as well.
What?
Well, if that was true, why was any of this... Okay, I get why... It was necessary because it happened. I get that. There's a whole bootstrap thing going on with why it happened and why it has to happen. Right? Because by the time it's happening, it has to have already happened. I get that. From Sigma's perspective. But if it's just about saving the world from fucking that, then why not just send it back in the past using that technology and be like, sup, I researched a cure over the next 40 years just to help you all out, slams it down on a table, get to work.
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time as well.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that? Well, I guess if they know where the other ones are and they're in cold sleep the whole time, right?
Schrodinger's
cat.
I suppose that makes sense. But again, so dumb.
Oh, hey, Kyle. Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where is Dr. Klim? Glona said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Right, told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure. So, I know I gave him a voice when we saw this, but you've been voicing him in this body the whole game, so go at it.
Okay. Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind.
And I couldn't be bothered to give you this talk in person, because I'm sleeping.
I was sleepy. It's nap time. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
Ah! Fucking why? What does he mean other than Kyle?
Who knows? No way to know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to any questions.
Is Kyle a result of the physical back in time whatever? There's actually just two Sigmas present right now, and they can't both be in the same place unless one of them's in the armor, so it could be someone else.
Ah! Oh, that's funny as hell.
And he can't answer Kyle's questions because any answer to them would reveal that Kyle is in fact him and he's in two places at the same time and causality collapses.
We learn to live with it.
Oh, right.
Is there anything else you want to ask? Because I won't know the answer.
Well, guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman, or Spider-Man, or Aquaman, or a merman, or a wolfman. I'm not Brahmin, or Common, or Ramen. I'm not a Kaimon either, so you don't really need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question.
About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife.
Oh, never mind. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back in the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep, so you just kind of rode it out, I suppose. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. I don't know why this was part of it as well. I really should have a word with him. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there frozen until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out. Even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out. And sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you had found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Unfortunately, your plan failed. The Radical 6 did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path that you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight into Point D. Point D beginning April 13th of the following year. It was the day you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put in one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. If I had known we were going to be monologuing in this voice for a very long time, I might have made certain decisions differently.
You're not a coward. I believe you wouldn't have changed anything.
You're so right about that, though. This caused the two versions of you to swap places. And you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor. I'll put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No. Everything you talked about, you got right.
And what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as an X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
And I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds, least of all the words that leave my mouth. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 over 1 plus v1 times v2 over c to the c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter day-to-day life don't come close to being c over 2, or c to the squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v times v2 over c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean divided by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying? In most situations, it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yeah.
What happened there?
You'll have to wait till the sequel. Probably.
How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with a simulated mission to space?
I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that.
And why not?
Because it would change history.
For us to know that?
Huh.
Is Kyle gonna go back and... Did I just commit to giving Kyle this voice for the third game?
There's a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes right at point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. Do you understand?
I don't. Why would all that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all of this? You know my past. You know Sigma's past. Sorry, it took me a moment to get dressed again. That was somehow the most satisfying and least satisfying sex I've ever had. It felt like there was something empty. And I'm not just talking about my pussy. I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Klim. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not.
Think about it. Oh, really? So we don't have to... oh, wait, no, the body is Kyle's. That sucks, but that's how it is. Do you really believe that you are Kyle? Or could you be someone else entirely? Oh, wait. Right, hold on. Or could you be someone else entirely? I forgot voices for a moment. We had regular Akane for a moment, so I completely forgot. Then where's the real Kyle's consciousness? He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking. He has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the Doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind there? I know what I told the others. That Kyle was Dr. Klim's spare. But that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas. It ends on New Year's Eve, 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary. And that's why he created him. Yes. So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the Doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in this mission. Correct. There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places? I suppose you could put it that way, yes. What? That is ridiculous! So, it's not Sigma's consciousness in there, but Kyle's? What is going to happen to me? Are you telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body? No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you. I have no idea what you... Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are.
No, screenshot that. I need that. I know what you are.
Damn, I wish I could go back to before the surely you must know. But
Yeah.
there, screenshotted for later. No, it's going to show up here. Okay. Huh? You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Oh, because without someone present in the past that wasn't there before, that can't change then nothing can be changed, right?
I don't know.
Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world. If she calls us the Freyr, I'm going to lose my shit. There's no way Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028? Then you have to play Zero Escape Zero Time Dilemma. Well, yes, I do, but then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be shaped into one you imagine by backing the Kickstarter. Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma, available now in the Steam store. Remember what I have told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
Thanks, Akane.
Thanks, Akane. Alternative end. And that's it.
That's it.
That-
Okay.
We just got the all trophies achievement.
Unless it's not. We figured that was it like a couple times ago, and it wasn't. So let's hit that return button just in case.
And that's other Akane end. I see. That appears to be it. And that we also got the trophy for getting all trophies now.
Alrighty.
Damn. Only you. Please, back the Kickstarter for Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma. Purchase it now at the Steam store. Or the Nintendo Switch eShop. Is it available on Nintendo Switch?
I have no idea.
I don't know if it's available on GOG or not, but probably not. itch.io is right out. You won't know what this means because we're on the PS Vita. Jesus Christ. What a roll. Oh, man. How do we feel about all this? How do we feel about all this in comparison to the first game and in general?
I feel like this was fun. I'm glad we did it. I feel like at the beginning I wasn't as sucked in. I feel like once we got into it, it got me to those same places that I wanted to be from the previous game.
Yep.
And a lot of cool labyrinthine reasoning and so on. We got Best Girl back.
Yep.
Akane doing death game shenanigans.
Best girl.
I don't know how I feel about the ending. I'm very it feels like I didn't get a resolution on a number of things, and maybe that's on purpose or maybe not, or maybe there's stuff in the sequel.
I wonder if the alternative ending was like a added on later or something, maybe with the port. Because when it ended with the original Akane ending, that felt like this is good, this is the end.
Mm.
And that kind of felt a bit unnecessary in a way. I really this kind of like took a lot of the things I liked about 999 and kind of amped it up again to 11, which was really good. I didn't think that could be done. I feel like at the very, very end, it got a bit too lost in the sauce.
Mm.
But it took until the very end to get there, and I was on board for everything up until that point. And I feel like there's I kind of like the way that that a lot of it explores around like why we find it hard to cooperate with one another and why we might be incentivized to betray others against even our own interests.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every time I betrayed someone because I was trapped in a death game on the moon with amnesia.
Yeah,
that's the usual reason that I don't cooperate with people.
Right? But I felt that would I feel like it delivered on both being a new Zero Escape game and also just being a really good narrative that was fun and enjoyable. Poor Clover and Alice.
Yeah, I feel like they got the shortest end of the stick here.
Although apparently they're going back in time somehow. Again, I object to. That was the point that I object. It's like the fucking. I hate to bring it up, but it's the same objection. It's the fucking time turner thing, right? As soon as you say actual literal time travel, no strings attached, then what the fuck are we doing? There was firmly a string attached to this time travel, and you've just gone and been like, snip. I am surprised we didn't learn more about what the fuck Free the Soul was like.
Yeah.
Though I'm guessing maybe that comes... I'm just hard reading that the third game is what happens during that time period, because it would be weird if it was anything else.
It's gonna fuck so hard when it's absolutely unrelated to that.
Oh my god, right? But like... I also understand now why Dio wears a top hat.
Peacocking?
It's on the moon, so it doesn't weigh down as much. You could do a perfect dimmadome on the moon. Oh man. I'm also surprised at how much of our random bullshit turned out to actually be right.
Yeah.
Like, remember me at the very be like, we could have multiple different people in the K-suit in different routes, but I don't know what the fuck that would get us.
And then that's exactly what happened. continuing our winning streak of playing zero escape games and immediately reading important things at the very beginning.
Disembodied souls and robots on the moon.
Yeah.
We were right. It just wasn't the players of the game. Except for it was one player and the other golems. Oh, man. I do feel like our method of playing this game really helped a lot of it land better, too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I was just kind of reading and playing passively, a lot of this would have felt kind of like, what? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's... I feel like a lot of it... I feel like if there was a way to play this game and call like a lot of that ending as bullshit, but being engaged with it made a lot of it like, no, that was all foreshadowed. That makes a lot of sense. Still don't know what's up with Phi, but I'm still hard calling that she's the one that gassed Sigma. That set up Sigma's car and gassed him. How the fuck do they sneak into a project like that? Do they have to just spend the next couple months getting in astronaut levels of fitness? I guess it's just a test thing, so maybe they don't have to worry about the fitness as much, and it's more about having applicable skills. But
I mean, it says infiltrate. Did they even like go into it legitimately, or did they just break in?
Whether or not they go into aside from that one segment, like it's going to be monitored the whole time, right? I guess during that one segment.
I mean, it.
Well, if you're not monitoring it, then what data are you getting out of this that is applicable? Right? I guess they're right during that one segment where they were talking about simulating Mars going behind the moon, right? The justification of everyone being slow and that's why they don't notice they're in moon gravity.
Fuck that. That's not how that works.
That one was a little bit bullshit. I do appreciate that there were some lines that suggested that things weren't quite the way that they thought they should be, right? And I took those cues in a different direction. And I was wrong about what that meant. So it's not like it wasn't addressed or at least given some crumbs towards in the narrative. It wasn't completely pulled out of nowhere as if it justified itself. But also, like, if that was the case, then what happened at the very end of that one route where it seemed like that's when Phi got infected with Radical 6? So they could somehow get even slower? That's the part that's the part I'm like, that doesn't quite check out. Also, how convenient about the red Earth. But every time I think of an instance in this game where it's like, well, isn't that fucking convenient? Another part of my brain goes, but it was awesome, right? And I'm like, yeah, it was awesome. Actually, it was. So I guess more fool me, really. I do think that was really sad. Like, I was ready for the emotional heart at the end of this to be finally Jumpy and Akane getting to see one another again.
And nope.
And it was and I think it was even better the way the game played it, where it was just felt brutal.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, there's no way there's no way Akane is going to change who she is, right? Akane is always going to be like that. And there's no way that anyone you spend your entire life chasing who is going to be the same way you remember them as when they were a kid or that one time you were trapped in a death game together. It's just, that can't happen. And I'm glad that Jumpy has found someone else in his life, at least. Like, he's raising Quark, and it seems like he's doing really well for himself in that regard. And that his whole life isn't based around trying to find Akane. And maybe it seemed like that made it easier for him to kind of move past that at the end. I'm still thinking that there was a period of time not shown in this game where the two of them had, like, the weirdest kind of hate sex. Like, There was too much tension there for them not to work that out. But I think both of them left ultimately fulfilled but unhappy with how like it was great, but they're both not really happy with the fact that they did it. And now they'll maybe send Christmas cards once a year. What's your headcanon?
I don't know.
You gotta. Oh man, I'm glad at least there's, even if it's kind of bullshit, I'm glad that there's some ways Alice and Clover don't just get singularly fucked over for no not for no reason, but nah. Clover tries on the K-suit just to see what it feels like. It's really sweaty. Like, can you imagine living in a suit like that for your entire life? It's just gonna... I know this isn't the point, but I need you to imagine how many times Kyle has jacked himself off of the suit and how many stains there are in there that are just not coming. Listen, he can't grasp it. The suit has to jack him off. If it doesn't, then you're telling me my man has been going his entire life without busting once? God damn.
The suit is designed to prevent atrophy.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a important functional organ.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get regular exercise, then you know it's a good game when the last discussion is, does the suit jack him off or not? I think the only real thing I have a super problem with is that a lot of it relies on Sigma just being pathologically unaware of his own body and self. You know what I mean? Just like, wow, I don't feel any strange metal apparatus attached to my eye. Wow, I don't have any desire to look in a mirror. I don't wonder why I don't feel weaker. And, yeah, I just assume... Which I guess he knew he was going to be like that so he could plan on it, but still. That part was silly. Anyway, I think we're ready to take a break from Zero Escape for a little while. This was a lot of fun, though, and I still think this was a great time. I don't know what happens in Zero Time Dilemma, but I will play it at some point.
We'll eventually find out.
We'll eventually find out. So don't spoil anything about that game unless it is indeed the game that Akane is trying to sell us in the last. $29.99 USD! Think of the value, Stigma! All right, bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.